spot. I'm feeling good. The sun is shining. I knew it would. The world's a playground. I'm in the clouds. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Just check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. I'm on the big stage. I got my crew. I'll get you moving. It's what I do. The party's starting. It's going down. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Just check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. Check me out. Check me out. Just check me. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Just check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Just check it out. I'm gonna light it up. Yeah, I'm gonna light it up. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out.
And welcome to another edition of Bulldogs Live here across the Hamilton Bulldogs social media platforms. It's the voice of the Bulldogs, Reed Duthie. Pleased to be joined today by two of the Bulldogs' last three first-round picks. 2018 first-round pick Logan Morrison, 2019 first-round pick Ryan Winterton, and of course, guys, as always, Bulldogs Live today brought to you by our great friends over at FirstOntario Credit Union. Couldn't do this without them. We thank them so much for their support. But Ryan, Logan, how are you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Well, it's great to be able to catch up with you guys. And as I mentioned, the last two first-round picks for the Hamilton Bulldogs. And I want to go back in time and, Logan, start with you, just chronological order on that. 2018 in the first round, you get scooped up by the Hamilton Bulldogs late in the first round. What were your feelings when you knew you were coming to the Bulldogs?
Yeah, it was obviously really special. I'll actually never forget that day when I got drafted. I didn't really know where I was going on that day. I knew Hamilton was interested in me for sure, but it was kind of a lot of nervous energy. But just when I heard the Bulldogs announce my name, it was something I'll never forget.
Ryan, same thing. You were taken in the first round of the 2019 OHL Priority Selection Draft. What were your feelings when you saw the Hamilton Bulldogs name come up with yours?
Yeah, I was super excited, but I actually had zero clue that they were going to take me. I hadn't talked to them prior to the draft, so I wasn't really expecting, but I was really happy when they picked me.
Early on here in the chat bar, George Diaco has given us the smiley faces with hearts. So I think George is enjoying Bulldogs Live this afternoon. Logan, when Ryan first showed up in camp for the Bulldogs, what were your initial thoughts of bringing Winterton into the team? I know I've asked you about some scouting reports before from your draft class, but how about one of a younger player in Winterton?
Yeah, obviously I hadn't seen him play before he came in training camp there, but yeah, obviously right away I noticed that he was a really good player, and he was obviously the 8th overall pick, so you expect a lot out of him, and he definitely lived up to the hype. So yeah, he was definitely a really good player.
And Ryan, same sort of thing. When you come into Bulldogs camp and you see a player like Logan Morrison, who had a tremendous rookie season, was already being talked about for the NHL draft, was selected for Team Canada at the U17s. What are you thinking when you get the chance to play with him and at times hop on a line with him?
Yeah, obviously I did some research before I came to the team. Obviously knew he had a good season, and had good seasons prior, but I knew he was a good leader and a good hockey player when I came, and I expected nothing less when I got there.
Now, I mentioned that we had the comment from George Diaco, and if you're wondering how to get involved in the broadcast, if it's the first time you've watched Bulldogs Live here across the Hamilton Bulldogs social media platforms, you can leave us a comment, ask a question for Ryan, for Logan, for both, and you can do that across Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, anywhere that you are watching this video. Still to come on the Bulldogs Live series, video games being played. Guys, I'm going to get your thoughts on this momentarily, because the showdown that everybody has been waiting for, Tag Bertuzzi and Arthur Kaliev in NBA 2K20. That's Thursday, May 21st from 11 a.m. to noon. I may try to find a way to drop in and do some play-by-play for that game. And then, of course, next Friday, I'll have Liam Van Loon and Tag Bertuzzi right here on Bulldogs Live. That's actually my birthday episode, so really looking forward to that one. But when you take a look at that showdown that's coming up in the video game platform, Arthur Kaliev versus Tag Bertuzzi, NBA 2K20. Who do you guys give the edge to in this one? I've asked everybody about this. It seems to be the one that everyone's looking forward to.
Yeah, I've actually seen them play each other before, and it's gotten pretty competitive, and they're both they play a lot of 2K, I think, so they're both pretty good, but I don't know. It depends on which mode they're playing, I think, but I'll have to go with Bird on that one.
Okay, one for Bert. Winch, what do you think?
I'll go Cali. I know they're both competitive, but I think Cali would take it. I haven't really seen anyone play, but I know Cali plays quite a bit, so.
Now, here's the thing. One of the things that's been brought up is this my team versus regular team sort of thing. Avery Hayes was the first one that jumped on this. Apparently, Arthur Kaliev has built himself a dynasty in this game, so it depends on whether they use his online team or regular teams. I don't really know what that means. I don't have NBA 2K20, but Logan, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I know Artie's not shy to put some money into the game. I think he has a pretty good team, but so yeah, if they do that, then I think Artie will have a lot better players, so he'll have the advantage. But if they just do now, like a play now type of thing, I think it'll be more even.
Okay, so we may have to force a play now for even up. Guys, when you first arrived in Hamilton and got familiar with the Bulldogs organization, and again, Logan, I'll start with you having come in first in 2018. You obviously got to experience the OHL Champions run, but what were your first thoughts getting acclimated into the Hamilton community?
Yeah, it was definitely really special. I was at the Game 6 of the championship, so that was really fun. So that was kind of my first real taste of what the Hamilton community was like. So that was it was really fun and a really good game. And then when I got first to rookie camp, everyone was kind of welcoming with open arms. So it was really awesome to see that. And then training camp too, when I actually got to meet the players on the actual team, was it was really good.
Now, I warned Ryan Winterton about this was coming, because you and I did an interview on Cable 14 the night you were drafted, and oh yes, we have found
show it, reader. Don't show
evidence.
I don't want to. Oh,
look at that hair.
No, I don't want to see it.
That is shampoo and condition, rinse and repeat, my friend. Very nice.
That's not coming back.
I think a lot of people are hoping you bring it back. Winch, what do you think of the hair on Mo from back in the 2018 playoffs?
I liked it. I think you should bring it back for this year.
No.
Go out all summer.
That was a quick no. That there may be some more work needed. Now hang on here, because this is a team on the upswing. If we get into a long playoff run situation, Or are you going to grow the hair for the playoffs?
I mean, I don't know how quick it can grow.
Well, we might have to start it in March. Let's clinch a division, and then we'll start there.
Maybe a beard if I can grow one, Reader. I'll give you that.
Okay.
There.
All right. I'll take it. I will take it. Ryan, we'll pick back up where we were before we interjected the long locks of Logan Morrison. What were your first thoughts when you came into Hamilton and got acclimated with the community?
Yeah, so I went to rookie camp, and all the fans welcomed me with open arms, like Logan, and I couldn't have asked for more. They were really nice to me, and I loved it.
Now, one thing that I know about Hamilton hockey families is that we have some of the best billets in the OHL, and I've heard that from everybody that has rolled through the Hamilton Bulldogs. And if you are interested for the 2020-2021 season, we do need billet families. And I promise you that when you open your doors up to some of these young men, that they will become members of your family, that you will have memories that you cherish the rest of your life from them. We've heard that from the billets that were here right from the beginning, right through the 2018 championship and right to this day. Guys, I just want to talk to you about your billet situation in Hamilton. Ryan, we'll start with you. And just how nice is it to have families that really step up and get involved, and how active they are in getting involved with the Bulldogs?
Yeah, they're really nice to me. I couldn't have asked for anything more. From coming home from the rink every night and having dinner ready for me to just being there for me whenever I need it. I couldn't ask for anything more from them. They've been amazing.
Logan, same thing. Obviously, you've had some great experiences here in Hamilton. What's it been like with your billet family?
Yeah, so I live with a single mom and a son too, and honestly, I have nothing negative to say about them. They've done so much for me, and yeah, like Wint said, every night, you just expect dinner. You're not really thankful for it when it happens, but looking back, they do absolutely anything for you. And I play mini sticks with the son. He's 12 or 13, so he loves that kind of stuff. So just doing those little things with him, he obviously gets really excited. And yeah, I miss them already for sure.
Now, this season, guys, both of you had really good seasons. Ryan, your rookie season. Logan, you're second in the league, and you blew away your previous offensive totals. You had a couple hat tricks on the season. Ryan, you scored your first goal in the OHL this year. Let's go back in time to night one in Sarnia, and this is the handiwork in front of the net of Ryan Winterton.
Kaliev wanted to walk his way right out in front of the net. Here's Kaliev with a chance. Langman out of position. They score. Right out in front of the net and getting his first goal in the Ontario Hockey League. Right there, Ryan Winterton.
Ryan, can you go back into that moment and describe what that felt like? I mean, it's the first night of the season. You're on the ice with fellow rookie Lawson Shirk, and on your other wing is 51 goal scorer Arthur Kaliev. What did that feel like?
Yeah, obviously, I had a pretty easy goal for my first, but I kind of just blacked out when it happened. I didn't really have any emotions on there, I remember, but yeah, it was definitely something I look back on and very happy of.
And you may have been in your first season, Hamilton, Ryan, but you've obviously made an impact because Justin DeLauro says in our chat, I love Ryan Winterton. Not surprised there. I think you've become quite a fan favorite, Ryan, and a lot of that to do with the 200-foot game you've brought to the team and some of the fine goal scoring that you've exhibited. And when you talk about fine goal scoring, Logan, you've become known as sort of the playmaker, the creator, the setup guy. This season, we saw both aspects of Logan Morrison, whether it was the finisher or the creator. When you look at your development this season, where do you think you came the furthest in?
Yeah, I'd say just my overall play. Just in my first year, I didn't really know what to expect in the league. I knew it was obviously going to be way faster and just a better overall league. But coming into my second year, I expected a lot more out of myself and just to be more complete player, face-offs and things like that. So that's where I think my development took off the most for sure.
Now, as I look at the two of you guys and the way you've developed to begin your OHL careers, one thing that jumps out at me is that, Logan, we talked that you can do both. You can finish, you can set up. Ryan, same sort of thing, but you're more known, Ryan, as a finisher, that bar down wrist shot release that's unbelievable. What about Ryan Winterton hopping on a wing with Logan Morrison and Avery Hayes at some point? That might be an interesting combination to have a look at.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, I think we'd have all the aspects of that line, just skill, playmaking, and Wentz with that deceptive release could finish. So yeah, that'd be a fun line for sure.
Yeah, Ryan, you scored a goal in Saginaw this season that I'm still kind of trying to figure out how that it went in, and I never saw it. It was on your stick and off your stick so quickly that all I heard was the back bar go off, and then you were celebrating, and I still have no idea how you got that shot away that fast. Have you always had that kind of release, or is that something that took a lot of work?
Honestly, no. I'd say my first year in Hamilton, I started to realize that I had an above average shot just from shooting, I guess, every day on the ice at practices from the summer. And from when I got there, my shot really took off, I think.
Logan, I've described you in a lot of things as having a supercomputer between your ears, because I watch you play, and it reminds me a lot of David Krejci. The way you control the flow of the play, the way you kind of control whether the play speeds up or slows down, and how you can distribute or take the shot. When you have all those aspects to the game and you see a player like Ryan Winterton that can really let it fly, does that really open things up for you as a centerman? Because now you can distribute. If they overplay that, I can shoot. If they're playing the shot, I can carry it around. I can move it around. How much does having the kind of talent around you that the Bulldogs have put to your wings really help you as a center?
Yeah, it helps a lot for sure. When you know the D-man has to respect your wingers, you obviously have a lot more space to make plays. And yeah, like I said, when you have a great shot on the wing, you just have a lot more space with the puck. So it definitely helps a lot.
What was it that when you first got to Hamilton, you and Avery Hayes seemed to click just instantly? What was it about Avery Hayes' game and yours that meshed so well?
Yeah, I just think it honestly started off there. So we just became really good friends, and we wanted the best for each other. So even in practices, like, we push each other and everything like that. So I think it translated to on ice too. We worked really well together, and we just saw plays. We saw where each other would be. So yeah, I think we developed chemistry pretty quick.
And the chirping has begun. Jay Winterton, I think we know who that is. Upon asking Ryan Winterton about his shot, says he learned it from me.
Yeah, right.
Ryan, would you like to make a comeback on what I'm assuming is your brother?
Yeah, no chance, but he's definitely done a lot. But no, I can't give him credit.
How did that make your transition to the OHL easier, having Jacob who'd already done it?
Yeah, so we would train every day, every week for about 2 hours. He just do a really good job pushing me and making sure I'm doing my best.
Guys, as we look back on the 2019-2020 season, obviously didn't end the way that the Bulldogs would have wanted, because at a time where the team had just gotten Jan Mysak really up to speed, Avery Hayes is coming back from an illness. It seemed like everything, although the results hadn't turned just yet, it felt like everything was starting to move in the right direction. The team was starting to score a lot of goals. And it felt like as we were rolling towards the playoffs that this team was about to peak at the right time, just to have it kind of taken away. Logan, as you look back on it, how far did the Bulldogs come this season in terms of understanding what they need to do to make that next step up?
Yeah, I think we came a long way. We obviously had a lot of ups and downs during the year. We had some crazy games, and obviously at the end of the year we had that coaching change, so that kind of switched things up a bit. But yeah, looking forward toward playoffs, I think we had the ability to surprise some teams. So unfortunately, we didn't get the chance to do that. But yeah, I think we developed a lot.
And again, Ryan, it's something that in your rookie season is a little bit different than what some rookies would face, because not only were you finding your way, but you were on a young team that really felt like it was coming together at the right times and starting to peak. And it sort of coincided with your game really taking a step up. What did you learn that you feel like you need to do to take the next step?
Yeah, just never be satisfied. There's always going to be someone better than you and someone who wants it more than you, and you just can't let that happen. You got to keep working every day and get better.
Into this offseason, Logan Morrison's name is in the NHL entry draft, and we've seen talk of where Logan might go. And Ryan, I want to give you the opportunity, because I think Logan's heard before what I've said about him, and I know a team in black and gold that I would like to see pick him up at some point during the draft. But if you're a team in the National Hockey League, you've got to take a shot at Logan Morrison, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. He should be taken pretty early. I'd expect nothing less.
See, and that's what I'm talking about. There's the confidence in your teammates. And Logan, I think that's what says it all when you head towards the NHL entry draft is I've asked a lot of your teammates about your draft stock and whether it be Avery Hayes or Ryan Winterton right now, some of the players that have seen you in the past, like an Isaac Nurse or a Cade Landry that were graduating, they all say this is a guy that needs to be drafted because he's just scratching the surface of what he's going to be. What have you heard in terms of the NHL draft?
Yeah, I haven't heard too much actually. I see a lot of Twitter updates saying that it might be an early June draft, but then I saw recently that there's going to be a month's notice, so I don't think it's going to be in early June. So yeah, I haven't heard too much. They're just seeing what's happening with the whole coronavirus thing. So I'm just staying patient, really trying not to think about it too much and just trying to get stronger to prove a team right, hopefully.
Absolutely. And that actually brings up another question that I know is asked a lot. What have you guys been doing in this time of the coronavirus, and how have you guys been keeping yourselves healthy, safe, but still keeping yourselves active at the same time? Logan, what have you been up to?
Yeah, so my gym in Guelph gave me some equipment to use, and they also gave me a program to kind of keep myself on track. So I've just been working out every day, and then when I haven't been working out, I've been stick handling and just trying to keep my hands in check. Obviously, you can't go on the ice, so you kind of got to do anything just to get a stick in your hands and just get a feel still for the puck. And yeah, so I've just been trying to do anything really to keep myself in shape.
Absolutely, and that's essentially the best that we can do at these times. Ryan, how about yourself? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so I'm lucky enough to have a gym in my basement, and my trainer had sent me a couple workouts to do to stay up in shape. And then I have my brother who can go skate with me out front, rollerblade. And yeah.
Yeah, I got an exercise bike, fellas, because let me tell you, all this time off without anywhere to go, the pounds are not hard to pack on. I've been riding that exercise bike like I'm Lance Armstrong. So hey, I needed it, trust me. Jamie Lawson with a great question in the chat. Logan, as a 17-year-old wearing an A, are you vocal in the room, or are you more of a lead-by-example type of player?
I'd say a bit of both. I think more like on the bench, kind of just keeping guys in check and just helping guys out and seeing plays. And I think I can help guys see plays and tell them like what they could have done differently or stuff like that. But yeah, definitely more of a lead as example type of guy.
As a 16-year-old, you were actually on the Bulldogs' first power play unit, and one that was quite successful with the kind of talent around you, like an Arthur Kelly and a Jan Yannick and a Cade Landry. What did you learn from being in those situations with those guys?
I think I learned a lot from Stromer, actually, just that power play unit that we had, the three guys you mentioned, and then Strome, too.
Oh, boy, he's going to kill me for missing the name. Oh.
Yeah, he was the fifth member there, so probably one of the biggest parts of the power play, too. So he's just, yeah, he's the smartest player I've ever played with, I think.
Just keep digging the hole for me, Logan. Thanks.
That's on you, Reader. It's not my fault.
Oh, that was bad. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so he was a really smart player. He like I said before, he would be that guy that on the bench would help you see plays because he obviously had tons of experience, so he'd help guys out a lot. So yeah, that power play was really special.
When you look back, and great points on Matt Strome, but when you look back at playing with someone like Matt Strome, it seemed like what made him so special was that he could, like a great chess player, he saw what was happening 2, 3, 4 moves ahead. Is seeing someone with that kind of vision really helpful, just to have next to you to be able to pick the brain? For sure. Even in practice, like just doing drills, he always seemed to find the open guy, just have patience and just wait for the play to develop. And he would never force a play. He'd wait for the play to come to him. So I definitely learned a lot from that. And then Ryan, to pick up on that, you come in the following season. So Matt Strome has moved on to the pro level, but you've still got Jan Yannick at the beginning of the season. You've got Logan Morrison. You've got Avery Hayes. You've got Cade Landry. Nathan Staios comes across. And then by the end of the season, Jan Mysak arrives. So for yourself, Lawson Shirk, Ryan Humphrey, the 03s that started to step up on this team, did it help having those kind of guys who learn from a guy like Matt Strome beforehand? Yeah, they were huge in my development this year. From, like Mo said, in practice, helping me with drills and helping me just improve my game overall. They really helped me, and I couldn't thank them enough. Well, and when you look at what this team is building and you look at how young it was, the youngest team in the OHL by the end of the season, and that was at times including Jan Yannick, who obviously was the best player in the OHL before he was injured at the World Junior Hockey Championship. And yet you guys were about to go into the playoffs as a 7 seed, had a couple of bounces gone your way. You're talking about 6th, 5th, maybe a 4th seed, especially if Jan had been healthy the entire season. When you see that kind of development coming from this young of a team in that short of a time, Logan, does that give you, as someone who already wearing an assistant's A, the kind of idea that, yeah, we're already on the right track? We're at the beginning of a group that's going to be very special.
Yeah, for sure. I think, we're in the 7th seed there, but I think the 4, 5, 6 was all within reach there. I think it was pretty close. So
Yeah, not far, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was definitely something to look forward to. Obviously, you see a lot of potential there when you realize we're still really young and we still have the ability to maybe get in the 5 seed or something like that. So, yeah, it's definitely something that you can get excited about for sure.
Ryan, how much did that drive you as a rookie? You're coming into the league, you're learning your way, but you're on a team that is really coming together. You're on a team that has all kinds of young talent working together, and you're in a race for a playoff spot. And what could have been a surprise in the first round, because quite honestly, once you got past Ottawa in that number 1 slot, the East was kind of wide open.
Yeah, I learned a lot this year, actually, just from coming in, getting new systems, learning those, and then those ended up working. And halfway through the season, we ended up almost doing it to perfection. So, yeah, we definitely could have surprised a couple teams, and it would have been exciting for sure.
Well, I mean, we were on the road to a first-round playoff series with the Sudbury Wolves, and judging by the results that we'd had with them during the season, 11-10, it probably would have been a very interesting first round. One thing that I've joked about a bit on these broadcasts when guys have talked about that 11-10 game, did anybody this season get a shorter stick than Avery Hayes? He scored a hat trick in the 11-10 game, and nobody remembers it because as soon as he scored his 3rd, Bert goes on to score 4, including the overtime winner, and it seemed like everybody forgot that Avery scored a hat trick. Logan, you saw all of that up close and personal. What was going on in the minds of the guys on the benches? One winger scores a hat trick, and then the other one goes on to net 4.
Yeah, it was obviously an insane game. I don't think anyone was expecting that when we were getting ready for the game. So in those games, you just kind of got to take it by ear, and just those games don't happen a lot, so you kind of just got to appreciate them. And I think that was a lot of entertaining for the fans too. So yeah, that was crazy that Hazer got a hat trick there, and no one really remembered that, but obviously that was special for him to get his first career hat trick. So yeah, that was a great game.
It was something else. And Ryan, we're talking about a game that was in November of your rookie season. Was that one of those where you're on the bench or you're on the ice and going, so this is the Ontario Hockey League?
Yeah, honestly, I'd never played in a game like that before, but that was probably one of the funnest games I've ever played in. Just from, us scoring 11 and the back and forth all game. It was a special game, yeah.
I wanted somebody to at least take care of the play-by-play guy in that game, because that was just getting silly, and I almost ran out of things to say and then lost my mind when Bert put the overtime goal in, because you said you've never seen a game like that before, Ryan. I don't think we'll ever see a game like that again. I've been calling games for 12 years, and I don't remember anything even close to that before, and it felt like an inline game or a low-scoring football game more so than a game in the Ontario Hockey League. But, Logan, it felt like the team for a while that really fed off that win. Was there something – and I know it was the night that we were busing back home from the Northern road trip. Was there something about that you get the big win in overtime against a good Sudbury team, and then you get the ride home together to really have everybody together for it? Was that something that the team really fed off of?
Yeah, that game's it's kind of hard for a team not to come together after that game, and especially on the long ride, everyone was kind of excited, a little shocked, honestly. No one really knew what just happened, but yeah, everyone was really pumped on the way home. So yeah, that definitely helped our team and kind of brought us closer for sure.
I needed a lozenge. GC Red Wing asks, now that Isaac is graduating, do you guys want to arm wrestle to become our favorite player? Now, with that said, I do not believe that JP is going to allow any arm wrestling because we do not want any unnecessary injuries. So I don't think we're going to get the arm wrestling. Maybe we could get you guys in in a game of NHL 20 or something to
Yeah.
figure that one out. Mentioning JP, that's something that I wanted to talk to you guys about as well, because I don't think that, just to name them off, JP, Casey, and Danny get enough credit for the work that they do. Without them, this organization doesn't have that clockwork feel that it does. And Logan, you've seen them for 2 seasons. What do those 3 guys mean to this organization?
Yeah, like I said about my billets, it's just kind of something that you expect, and just what they do, you just kind of expect it. But when you look back, it's crazy how much they do. You come in on a game day and everything's just laid out for you. Everything's right there. You don't need to do anything. You tape your sticks, they put it all away. It's just the stuff that they do just goes so unnoticed, but it's really appreciated by our team. And yeah, we wouldn't be able to do anything without them. So yeah.
Ryan, as a rookie coming into the league, how does it feel to have 3 guys like that you can lean on, that are there for you? They've got your back no matter what.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I never had anything like that before. So coming in and just seeing how much they love the guys and how much we love them back was pretty cool.
As we start to look towards next season, and obviously it's still a little bit unclear as to how it's all gonna roll out, but I think we're all dying to get back to the game. How excited are you guys for what's coming with this team? Obviously, we just saw another draft class where the Bulldogs get 2 players in a Jorian Donovan and a Jonathan Malee, who ripped up a U18 circuit out in the Ottawa area. Logan, you keep seeing this year after year, this top level of talent that comes into the Bulldog organization. It's got to give you a lot of confidence that not only are we moving in the right direction, we're getting some pretty elite talent to put around us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just the way that last season ended, it makes you that much more excited for this year coming up, because you didn't finish it the way you wanted. So it just makes you that much more hungry to have a great season the next season. So yeah, obviously a lot's up in there right now. We don't really know when we're going to be able to have our fans back and stuff like that, but you don't really want to worry about that right now. You just want to work hard and picture it as if you'll be back by end of August. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for too. It's already been too long without hockey.
Yeah.
I can only last so long, fellas. I can only last so long. Ryan, you're going to be moving into your 2nd year in the Ontario Hockey League. And again, you see another draft class, talented players with 2 commitments already in. What does it feel like for you seeing that not only was your draft class loaded, the draft class in front of you has already had 8 players play in the OHL. That's Logan's draft class. And now you've got another one with 2 guys who put up spectacular numbers coming in.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Our future here is really bright, and can't wait.
So as we get to about the halfway point here of our Bulldogs Live, it is time to thank our wonderful sponsor at FirstOntario Credit Union. Once again, we could not do these Bulldogs Live episodes without them, and I'm very pleased to be able to bring you their latest from FirstOntario Credit Union. Welcome back to Bulldogs Live. Again, thank you so much to our friends and partners at FirstOntario Credit Union. We could not do this without them. If you missed it earlier on in the show, Bulldogs Live continues to roll along. The video game showdown, we talked about it earlier, the one the world has been waiting for. I've always wanted to do that. Tag Bertuzzi and Arthur Kaliev squaring off an NBA 2K20. That's Thursday, May 21st from 11 a.m. to noon. I imagine that is going to have a massive audience. Also coming up Friday, May the 22nd, Tag's going to go back-to-back as he will join me along with Liam Van Loon for Bulldogs Live. And Friday, May 22nd, my birthday. So very much looking forward to that show. For the Hamilton Bulldogs, as we head towards the 2020-21 season, billet families are needed. And we talked about this earlier. Great chance to open up your home to some wonderful young men, and they will certainly be great additions to your family. The Hamilton Bulldogs need billet families, and we have had nothing but positive feedback going both ways. The billet families enjoy having the players. The players love their billets, and we are hoping that you will want to be a billet for one of our players. All right, as we open up the second half of our show, we mentioned earlier, and we showed Ryan Winterton scoring his first goal of the season. Mentioned Logan Morrison had a couple of hat tricks on the year. Well, let's go back to Niagara in January, and Logan Morrison creating some magic.
Sets it up. Nathan Steos back to Kaliev. Don't give him too much time and space. They did. It's down low. Morrison scores. Somehow it found its way in for Kaliev. Shuffles one off for Big Navrin Mutter. Here's Kaliev. Hand on it. Oh, it went through McLean and they score. Morrison. Kaliev across. Saprika. Slap pass down low. They score. Beautiful setup. Saprika. Morrison, he has got the hat trick, and it's 5-1.
Now, when those went in, Logan, my call might have been a little bit louder. I was getting somewhat excited during that game, as I'm known to do at times. But what's the feeling like when you score a hat trick in the OHL, and then what's the feeling like when you do it twice in the same season?
Yeah, I think in that game I was kind of getting some lucky bounces there. I think the first two where they just squeaked through the goalie, and then I was in the right spot there. But yeah, the third one was a nice goal. Soupy had a great slap pass there, and yeah, it's obviously it's an unreal feeling scoring a hat trick. It's great, and to have two in the same season was it was really fun.
Now, you said lucky bounces, but at the same time, it looked like that was a lot of guts on those plays, because you go straight to the front of the net, knowing you're going to take contact, find the loose puck, and you're able to corral it and tuck it into the net on both while you have somebody on your back. Those are not easy plays to make, and I'm assuming a lot of people that have tried to do it will say that you're more likely to spill than you are to tuck it in. So when you look at that, it does show that your game has a little bit of everything to it, because you're not scared at all to hit the dirty areas.
Yeah, I think actually a lot of my goals this year came from inside that around the net there. So I think that's where most of the goals are found. So yeah, I'm definitely not scared to get there for sure.
And you're sort of stationed in the same area when it comes to the power play as well. A lot of times playing along the goal line right at the side of the net where you have so many options to be able to pass, shoot, move. Are you really comfortable playing in that tight area right to the net?
Yeah, obviously I switched there kind of in the half wall, so I did spend a lot of time down low there. So it's kind of a lot of quick decision making. It looks like you have a lot of time, but when you have the puck, you have a lot of options to look at, and you kind of have to make a quick play and realize which one's the best play. So yeah, I found Artie a couple times backdoor, and you can find the bumper guy in the middle too, or just set it up back up. So you just got to find the right play and trust yourself.
Absolutely. And when that Bulldog power play is rolling, it is one of the nicest to watch in the entire OHL. Ryan, when you guys on the bench see Logan Morrison scoring a hat trick and doing so with two of them coming from right in front of the goal, that's a skill guy going straight to the front of the net and banging pucks in. Does that give the bench a lift?
Yeah, those are pretty special moments, and yeah, obviously it energizes the bench to see one of those guys get a hat trick or even just a goal in front of the net. Get into the dirty areas, and it shows that we need to get there too to score. So if we want to win, we should start doing that.
Well, and that goes back to Logan Morrison wearing an A. So you see a leader doing it, and somebody that's charged with being that leadership role, and he's taking it right to the front of the net. So I guess that kind of does go to show that, well, if he's going to do it, then the rest of us need to follow by example, and we're going to get to the front of the net, because that's what we see as it goes along. You see a player like Logan Morrison hit the net, and then you're there. Lawson Shirk is there. Arthur Kaliev's around the front of the net. Jan Mishak's there. Liam Van Loon spends most of his time there and creating a lot of trouble in front of the net. It feels like it's something around this team that when one guy starts doing it, everybody wants to get in.
Yeah, well, don't fix it if it's not working. So, if they were scoring in front of the net, we should all get in front of the net, score more.
Now, Logan, I mentioned Liam Van Loon. You've spent a lot of time with him on your line. Liam's got a bit of that Brad Marchand, Brendan Gallagher sort of style to him, where he'll get to the front of the net, and whether the opponent is 5'8" or 6'8", he doesn't really seem to care. He'll get right up nose to nose, or in some cases nose to chest, with whoever he needs to cause havoc. What's it like playing with somebody like Liam Van Loon?
Yeah, Looner, he's one of a kind. There's no other way to describe him. He gets the boys going a little. He gets some laughs before the game. He's dialed in, and everyone just kind of gives it to him a bit, but that's just what he does, and that's what he needs to do to get his mind in the right frame to get going. So can't complain about that. And yeah, he'll obviously do anything for the team. So you want guys like that on your team for sure. He'll go against anyone. He'll go into a corner against anyone. So yeah, he's definitely he's a workhorse for sure.
Now, I called Liam when he was playing for the Ancaster Avalanche in his 16-year-old season, and he scored a triple overtime goal, just a little bit shy of 1 o'clock in the morning, against a team loaded with 20-year-olds who he had running scared of him at 16. I think that showed right away that, yeah, there's something to this guy, that he's going to be an OHL player. What's it like when you're on the ice with him and you know he's in the heads of your opponents?
You want this one, Vince, or you want?
You go. You go again.
Yeah, obviously he's not afraid to chirp guys for sure. He gets chirped back a lot, but he embraces it. He's that guy who doesn't really care what the other guys are saying to him. So I think guys get a little pissed off when he's chirping them. And yeah, he gets in the other guys' heads. He draws penalties, which is great for our team. So yeah, he's definitely a really great guy to have on our team.
Absolutely. Ryan, you want to follow up on that? Because you come out of a draft class with another guy who does that same sort of thing, and you sit with him on the bus, and Ryan Humphrey, who seems to enjoy torturing me. So what's it like having both Liam Van Loon and Ryan Humphrey around?
Yeah, they're both great guys. We're lucky to have them. Yeah, me and Humpy got really close this year, so just being able to learn off him and what he does best and what I do best, learn off each other, it's been really helpful this year.
And now what I want to say, too, is when I say takes pride in torturing me, it is in a fun way. He's not doing it in a malicious way. It is very enjoyable. He's a practical joker, and I just have to listen for the giggling behind me, because that's when I know he's up to something. And a lot of fun having those guys around. Jarrett Rubinik in the chat again. This is a question we got a lot of, Logan, for you. Are you looking forward to the NHL draft? Where do you see yourself going round-wise? That one might be a bit tough to be able to answer, because the NHL draft can be such a crapshoot in terms of rounds. But one that's interesting, and we did get asked a ton, was, is there a team you're hoping will call your name? And without giving away, because obviously I don't want you to commit and say, well, I'm really hoping this team does it. Maybe switch that to, who did you grow up rooting for? Yeah,
for sure. I'm obviously looking forward to the draft. It's obviously a really special moment. You grow up playing hockey, just you want your name to be called in draft. You get excited for that. So yeah, I'd say I'm definitely looking forward to it. And growing up, I'd say I watched a lot of the Leafs, Hockey Night in Canada, every Saturday night. You look forward to that for sure. So I'm not saying that's the only team I'd want to go to. I'm obviously honored to go to every team, but yeah, that's the team I grew up watching for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, obviously, you hear that a lot from guys in Southern Ontario, the Leafs. I mean, Nathan Staios said the same thing to me a couple of weeks ago, the Leafs and the Oilers, because his dad played in Edmonton. And it's kind of hard when you grow up in Southern Ontario not to see the Leafs, unless your dad gets to you when you're really young and makes you into a Bruins fan, and then you grow up not liking the Leafs, which was my problem. Ryan, same sort of thing. Who did you grow up watching in the NHL? And was there any player that you really idolized and modeled your game after?
Yeah, so early on it was Pittsburgh. I used to love Pittsburgh. Crosby, of course, and Malkin. But over the years, just local Leafs. Been watching them a lot. They're an exciting team to watch with Matthews and all those guys. So,
yeah, it's hard to ignore the kind of skill that you can put Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and John Tavares out on the ice at the same time. That can be pretty spectacular to watch. This is a bit of a long one, guys, but it's an interesting one. So with the Bulldogs streaming the NHL 20 gameplay, and of course the NBA 2K20 game coming up, and how the lines have been blurred between sports and video games in recent years with the growth of esports, do you think the OHL hosting an NHL 20 mini season during the break could be a good outreach opportunity? Kind of what we're doing, and I think eventually there may be a tournament set up with Bulldog players. I know that's been an idea that's been floated that I would like to see happen. I could serve as a Sports Center host for that. But do you guys like the idea of the esports really growing into what the OHL is doing?
Yeah, for sure. Well, you got this one.
Yeah, obviously. We all love video games. We play NHL probably daily. So yeah, seeing what esports is doing is pretty cool. And yeah, maybe a tournament would be cool. with the Bulldogs.
Well, if we're going to do that, I'm going to have to sit in and do the play-by-play, I think, for an NHL Bulldogs tournament. Then we can recap it on the social media channels. I'll wear the CBC Hockey Night in Canada blazer and the whole bit. Logan, what do you think of the esports outreach and the growth of it since sports were kind of put on hold? I mean, we've even seen NASCAR essentially continue their season using iRacing.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to kind of continue to engage fans in the sports. I think obviously you can't have real sports right now, so the next best thing is obviously the video games, the esports. So yeah, I think it's a great kind of thing instead of real sports to do. So I think a little tournament would be really fun for sure.
Stephanie Waite writes in, and I think we all know Stephanie, one of the great Bulldogs fans that followed the team when they made the move to Hamilton. Hi, guys. Who do you think is the most underrated player on the team? This is a question we get fairly often for the different guys. It's interesting to see who they all pick out. So, Logan, you've been here a little bit longer, so we'll give you the edge on the tenure and let you go first on underrated player.
Yeah, I think mine is he came halfway through the year last year is Peyton Vesio. I think he had a really important role this year. He was obviously our shutdown D pairing with Lands, and I think he kind of flashed a little offensive ability too. So I think he was definitely one of our most underrated players. I actually really like his game.
That's a great pick. I've used Peyton in a number of conversations talking about most underrated in the Ontario Hockey League, and his game has certainly grown since he got to Hamilton. Ryan, out of your rookie season, who did you see as the most underrated on the Bulldogs?
I'd probably go with the same as Mo. Vest did a lot of things for our team last year, whether it be shut down the top line with Lands or, power play. He flew under the radar a little bit, and he's a good guy to have on the team for sure.
Why do you guys think that a player like that goes so underrated? Is it just because that it's not the flashy type of thing that you see with a Landry or a Steos, or before that, a Ben Gleason, where they're running up and down the ice with the puck or making the really flashy play? Why is it that a guy who is so stable, steady, smart, and easy to watch play and easy to play with just goes so under the radar?
Yeah, I think it's just the little things that maybe fans or just other people don't really pick up on that the players do, like just good sticks and boxing out guys. Just the really little things that obviously you don't think help a team win a game, but they definitely do. So I think a lot of things go underappreciated.
It feels like the fans are becoming more and more, I don't want to use the word intelligent, but more and more aware of the little things that happen on the ice, because I hear that a lot more now, in that, wow, this guy, you watch his stick work on the penalty kill, and it's like, okay, people are picking up on that. And that's where I think a guy like Peyton Vesio really makes a difference, Ryan. When you see just those, as Logan said, all those little things. It's a poke check here, it's a shot block there, and then it turns the possession of the puck around, and the Bulldogs go down the ice and score a goal. That means that was a huge impact on the play.
Yeah, he does a lot of good things in the defensive zone, especially getting the puck out to us, to the forwards, and we go on rushes, and sometimes we capitalize on them, and sometimes we don't. But yeah, just him doing this simple stuff and making it easy on himself really helps him, I think.
Justin Delaro asks, Ryan, why is your overall so low in NHL 20?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah, that one I don't understand. I think the CHL teams get a bit of the short stick in the NHL video game. Those ones are never quite right.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the OHL players have the highest. Any of the players have the highest overalls. So
yeah, no, and it's funny when you look at it and you see how different it is from the NHL ratings, and then guys jump into the NHL and the next season they're rated in the 80s. It's just a little funny that way. But Ryan, don't worry, yours will only go up over time. I think that's the easy message. Guys, what do you guys have anything planned this summer? Was there anything that you can do away from the rink to really have some fun and unwind before we get back to OHL hockey or get back to the arenas itself?
Yeah, I'm a big like country concert guy. I've been to a couple, and I was kind of planning on going to maybe one or two, but I don't think that's gonna happen anymore. I think all the concerts and stuff like that are definitely gonna be canceled. So yeah, that was a little disappointing, but that was something I had planned.
Yeah, for me, probably just vacation. I was looking forward to a vacay at the end of the year, given that our schedule is so busy. But yeah, obviously that didn't happen and probably won't happen. That's too bad, but I just get ready for next year.
Tim Tanner writes, Mo, what do you miss most right now, practice or Ralph's jokes?
Yeah, Ralph's our physio guy, and he has some pretty hilarious jokes. So I think that's what Tim was the guy I worked with that would get me loose before games. So he'd be working on a guy beside me, Ralph would, and he would have some hilarious jokes. So yeah, I would say I miss Ralph's jokes a lot for sure.
What do you guys think that this Bulldogs team needs to do next year to make that next step overall? I mean, we've seen so much growth in such a short time, but if you guys were to nail down where either you think the team or yourselves need to improve next to be that next great Bulldogs team, where do you think that'd be, Logan?
I think it's just a mindset thing that we can improve on. I think just going into every game, like expecting to win is a huge thing. It's a really underrated part of the game, having a confident mindset, but I think it's a huge deal. And I think if our team really believes that we can win every single game, then I think that'll help us a lot.
And I think we saw that coming around as the season went along. There were definitely times where it felt like this team had a swagger about it, that it could be that snowball rolling down the hill where once they got on a roll, it felt like we'd play really, really well for quite a period of time. Ryan, are you sort of on the same boat there, and that the next thing is that win every night mindset?
Yeah, just staying confident in the room that we can come out every night and put on a show or maybe win every game. Yeah, it definitely help the guys in the room.
Now, when you look around at this team, you see Arthur Kaliev, who scored 51 goals. He holds almost all the offensive records that the Bulldogs have. You got to hope that he's going to return next year. I mean, we all want to see him eventually go to the Los Angeles Kings and be a superstar. But I think everyone's kind of hoping in Hamilton that, one more year with Arthur Kaliev. What would it mean to you guys to have guys like Arthur Kaliev and Jan Mysak come back for another year to keep this group all together? We're losing three really good players in Isaac Nurse, Brady Johnson, and Cade Landry. So to have guys like Kaliev, guys like Mysak all back together to keep that group going, what would that mean to you guys?
I think it'd be really huge for our team to have those guys back. I think it'd obviously be huge losses if they didn't come back. So I think they'd be huge parts of our team next year. And yeah, losing those three guys was really hard for us. We had great OAs last year, so
yep.
Yeah, it would definitely be huge if they came back for sure.
Yeah, and just for the younger guys too, the guys who didn't get to experience or who haven't got to experience those two guys yet, or the OAs we had last year, would be really good for them.
We talked about underrated players earlier, in Peyton Vesio being the guy. One that really stood out to me this season, Ryan, was Brady Johnson the most underrated center in the OHL?
I think so, yeah. The way we use them too, he's definitely a shutdown role on the penalty kill. Whatever situation we want him out on, he could play, and he did it to his full capability and did good at it.
Logan, as a centerman, what made Brady Johnson special in his role?
Yeah, that's obviously another guy I kind of forgot about, but he's obviously another really underrated player. I think it was just him, like he just knew his role. Like he just knew that maybe he wasn't going to put up the most points, but he knew that if he shuts down guys and if he plays his great defensive game, then he's going to help our team win. So I think no one really knew what we were going to get when we traded for him, but he really took his role and he owned it, and we're definitely going to miss him next year. I think I saw him, he's committing to St. Mary's next year. I think he's playing there. So yeah, it's really good for him, and I think he's a really underrated player.
Yeah, I know those are three guys that we are going to miss. I mean, it's the unfortunate part of the Ontario Hockey League that you lose those overage players. You can't keep them forever. But Isaac Nurse, Cade Landry, Brady Johnson, great hockey players, better guys. And I think even more so than the talent we're losing on the ice, you lose those personalities in the locker room. That's tough, but luckily we have a high character group. From Andrew Oliver to the both of you, which Bulldogs rivalry do you enjoy the most? And whoa, there's a number of ones you could pick here.
Yeah, Vince, you can go. I gotta think about it.
I'd have to say Niagara. Just coming to play them every night was pretty cool, knowing that it was going to be a good game and a good rivalry.
First time the Bulldogs won the K9 Cup this season. Of course, they have the series win over them from 2018, but the K9 Cup was one that had eluded them, and you guys were part of the group that brings that to Hamilton. Logan, Niagara, Kingston, Oshawa.
I think
I forgot about Oshawa.
Yeah, another really underrated rivalry we had was us against Barrie. I think every game we played there was kind of high scoring like that. The one game we played we lost in OT, but we were down like 5-0 at the end of the first or something. 6-0 or something, and then we came back. So there's obviously some crazy games there. So I think that's another kind of underrated rivalry we had.
That was another one of those games where I just could not figure out what was going on, and you guys stormed the gates coming out in the second period and totally turned that game around, and that was really fun to call. Jamie Lynn Bowman, what is your favorite part of a Hamilton team? Would you change what OHL team you could be a part of, or do you love Hamilton's team that much? I think we know the answer to that, but guys, go ahead.
Yeah, no, obviously this is the place to be right now. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah, it's obviously my favorite part would definitely just be the whole atmosphere of the rink. When it gets loud, the atmosphere is crazy, the adrenaline's pumping. So it's obviously really special. And no, I wouldn't trade any other team for sure. It's a great place to play, and I'm really thankful to be a part of Hamilton.
Absolutely. Interesting one from Sean Bingham, guys. What road arena do you enjoy playing in the most?
I'd have to say Niagara. Niagara is pretty cool for me. Just the atmosphere every night we went there. I loved it.
Yeah, I'd actually agree with him. I think Niagara's it's a really good rink. I like the size of the rink. The arena is always kind of loud, and just I don't know. I think we always have good games there against them. So yeah, I'd like to say that rink too.
The only problem with that rink is that I have to sit near the corner of the opposite end from our bench. And I called a save for Zach Roy one time this year, and my dad called me on the drive home after the game and said, when you called that great Roy save? I said, yeah. He said, whoa, that puck wasn't within 15 feet of him. Great. Lovely. So, I mean, that some of the problems you get when you can only sort of see one part of the rink. But it is a nice building, and I just wish I was more central like we are in Hamilton. I never miss a thing being up high and sitting there. So it's a lot of fun all the way through the arena. But guys, as we start to wrap this thing up, what would you say to the fans of the Hamilton Bulldogs that are watching on right now? Just really anything, any message for them at this time as we talk about the pandemic going on, and of course everyone hoping and wanting to get to the next season. What do you think, Logan?
Yeah, I just tell them stay safe, and it's obviously a little crazy times right now, but if we do the right things, I think we can be back in late August, and I think it'll be worth it if we're back and the fans are allowed to come in the rink and we have that great atmosphere. So I just say thanks for all the support, and we're really looking forward to playing in front of you guys again.
Yeah, thank you to the fans. They've been they were awesome all last year. The continuous support's awesome. But yeah, just stay safe this summer. Do your part, and hopefully we'll be back soon and play in front of you guys again.
I was just about to go to the end, and one more question snuck in under the wire that I think is a really good one that you guys will enjoy. To both of you, what was going through your heads the first time you stepped out into an OHL game? Ryan, it was asked to you first, so we'll start with you.
Yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking, honestly. The first ride out in the Sarnia Arena was pretty cool. Something I'll never forget for sure.
Logan, what was going through your mind the first time you stepped onto an OHL rink?
Yeah, my first regular season game was in North Bay, and that's kind of a smaller rink, but it gets pretty loud, especially for their home opener. It was packed in there, so just you don't really know what to expect when the play starts happening. But it was really fast, and yeah, I was definitely a little nervous, but definitely excited at the same time. So it was really special.
Guys, thank you so much for joining me here today for Bulldogs Live. And I think Jamie Lynn Bowman sets us up pretty well. Can't wait to take my son to his first game. We love you guys. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I think is so special about what the Hamilton Bulldogs do in the Hamilton community. It's a team that has really brought everybody together. You guys are both a big part of that. And really just thank you guys for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Reader. No problem.
This has been another episode of Bulldogs Live. So pleased to be joined by 2 first-round picks for the Hamilton Bulldogs in Logan Morrison and Ryan Winterton. Of course, Bulldogs Live will roll on. It is the esports edition with Tag Bertuzzi and Arthur Calliab, the matchup the world has been waiting for. Thursday, May the 21st at 11 a.m. That's an NBA 2K20. The next day, I'm sure we're going to recap the game because Tag Bertuzzi will be joining me along with Liam Van Loon Friday, May the 22nd. That one coming your way at 11 a.m. as we go back to the morning show edition of Bulldogs Live. Once again, we are so pleased to be presented by FirstOntario Credit Union. They are great partners for us. And as we close out, they now have a promotion going on. Enjoy 2.5% for 120 days when you open your first high-interest e-savings account at FirstOntario Credit Union. There are no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and you'll enjoy great rates while you watch your money grow. Members can open an account online today. How great is that? And you can visit firstontario.com for more details. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast as well, billet families needed for the 2020-2021 season. Hope you will hop on board for that. Well, for myself, the voice of the Bulldogs, Reed Duffy, Ryan Winterton, Logan Morrison, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you again next Friday for Bulldogs Live.